Hey, what is going on, guys? Nish here, back with another video. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. So first things first, I just want to let you guys know that this video contains spoilers, so if you have not played Spider-Man for the PS4, you may want to click off this video. But no, just still stick around because this is some messed up stuff that I'm going to talk about here. So, yeah. So I just beat Spider-Man, and I know I'm late to the dance because the game came out like 2 years ago, like literally 2 years ago, around this time in 2018, and so I'm late, and it was such a highly anticipated game. It was so hyped. It lived up to all that hype. It sold millions and got incredible reviews, and it is actually an amazing game. But my mind is blown right now, and not because the game is so great, but because everything that we're going through right now in terms of this pandemic and lockdown, it's in the game. Like it's to a T. It's in the game. I couldn't believe like what I was seeing, what I was hearing when I was playing Spider-Man. I'm like, no way. They put the agenda in this game. And so what do I mean by that? So at the very beginning of the game, you go around New York City setting up 5G towers. Yeah, you heard that right, guys. You literally go around New York City setting up 5G towers. And the reason being is that you can't catch the bad guys. How are you going to catch the bad guys, if you can't really see their activity or see what they're doing? So once you go around New York City, set up all the 5G towers, that's when you can see, criminal activity taking place, and then you go intervene, and kick some bad guy's ass at that point. But yeah, that's after you set up the 5G towers. Then you can, surveil the city. So there's that. That kind of threw me off a little bit. I was, questioning that a little bit when I first saw that. I'm like, why is Spider-Man swinging around New York City setting up 5G towers? No, it's not in his pay grade. The telecommunications company isn't paying him shit to do that, so it's kind of weird. So there was that. But other than that, like, there is, the meat and potatoes of what I'm talking about is the pandemic. In Spider-Man, there's a brand new virus. It's a respiratory disease that's highly infectious that, places New York City under quarantine. They're on lockdown. They have to isolate themselves. Residents can't go outside without wearing a mask or gloves. The streets are chaos. There's, military or police controlled streets that have checkpoints. It's insane. I remember Aunt May. She was telling Miles before he leaves the house to he leaves the building to take his gloves and mask and make sure he's safe. And after that incident, after Devil's Breath gets released, Devil's Breath is the name of the virus in the game. So Devil's Breath is coronavirus. After that gets released, New York City is on lockdown. Residents are wearing masks outside in public, gloves. There's checkpoints all over the city. It says, have your documents ready. Have your documents ready, folks. They're pretty much showing you what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to enter this location unless you prove that you've been vaccinated. So have your documents ready. That's in the game. That's in the game. And it's insane. Like, the similarities are just the way things look. But it doesn't even end there. Guess who releases the virus? Yeah, it was the Asians. It was the Chinese. The Chinese released the virus. Yep, I'm not making this up, guys. The Chinese released the virus. It was Mr. Lee. I think his name is Martin Lee. I don't know if his first name is Martin, but Mr. Negative. He's the one with, the virus. His whole gang of demons. They're called demons. His gang in the game is called demons, and they're a Chinese gang, and they speak Chinese in the game. I don't speak Chinese, so I don't know if that's actually, if it's like actually Mandarin or Cantonese, or if it's actually a language. But they are definitely speaking Chinese in the game. What sounds to be like Chinese in the game, because they are Chinese, and they're the ones who released the virus. No, where have we seen this before? Okay, so there's a brand new virus that causes everything to go into lockdown, released by the Chinese. There's military checkpoints all over the place. People are rioting in the streets. It's chaos in the streets. That's why they got to bring in, the military. They're not really military. It's not really police either. They're like, I don't want to say a government organization, because I don't even think they're a government organization. But anyways, in the game, they're like super high-tech, heavily armored police. But they're not actually police. They're called Sable in the game. And they're the ones with the checkpoints all around the city. So what Sable is doing, they're actually snatching up people. They're literally detaining people unlawfully and holding them. And as Spider-Man, one of the missions, one of the side missions or things you have to do is go around to the Sable holding centers, or these camps that they hold these prisoners or civilians at, and you pretty much whoop their ass and free the civilians. But one of the camps that I was at, you can hear an officer say to another officer, "We don't have badges and names. They can't sue us." And when I heard that, that was like the tipping point. Like, my mind was completely blown. Like, I've seen in the game, there is, the pyramid, the eye, in the game, they have that spray painted on the walls. It's kind of on a building. I found it. I mean, I don't know how. I just came across it. There's like thousands and thousands of buildings in Spider-Man. I don't know how I came across that one, but it's in there for everyone to see. But when I heard these officers say, or one officer say to another that they can't, "Oh, we don't have any badges or names, they can't sue us," like, I was like, what the fuck did I do? What? Are you serious? Like, wait. I wish I live streamed this game, or like I played it on Twitch or something, so I could so you guys could catch my actual reaction when I heard that shit, because I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh shit, man, that part already passed. Like, how am I supposed to record this? I wish I could have, but Spider-Man has autosave, so pretty much as soon as you do something, it saves over it, and it's autosave, so it's like you can't really go back to that time in the story. So, but damn. That one blew my mind, because that's exactly what's happening in the States. Like, you have unmarked, unnamed, no badge officers, snatching people up in the streets in Baltimore and in other cities, and it's like, that shit's real. That shit's actually going on, but it's in this game. Like, it's documented in this game. Like, the agenda is there, and it's shown like fully in Spider-Man. And it's crazy, because I don't know if people have drawn comparisons to the story and what's actually going on in real life right now, but I haven't really heard anything. But then again, when the game came out, it came out, what, 2 years ago? So, it came out 2 years ago, people beat it, they played it, it was great. They moved on to another game. They probably totally forgot about the story of Spider-Man. Me, on the other hand, I just beat this game. So while this pandemic's going on, here I am, you know, playing catch up, playing Spider-Man, and it is so relevant what is going on. Like, I can't. The similarities are just. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that exactly to a T what's going on in our world right now is shown in Spider-Man. It's crazy to think that they would actually, you know, put it in a video game, but it's not that crazy because, you know, CIA definitely works with movies and show. You know, they definitely work with studios to put in, you know, things into movies, things into shows. So, you know, CIA definitely has a hand in Hollywood, but I didn't know they also had a hand in like video games. Wow, video games. I mean, jeez. And it makes sense because this is a huge game. This game was like highly anticipated. Probably one of the most highly anticipated games for the PS4 period. So, the fact that this whole agenda is shown in the game kind of makes me question, you know, did somebody really eat a bat in China and that's how this whole thing started? Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I had my doubts when this thing first started. You know, who has to gain financially, who has to gain politically, and yeah. I may sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but there is no denying the similarities. It's like Spider-Man is just swinging around outside right now. Like, literally, that's what it's showing in the game. It's insane. And my question is, you know, to the developers, to Insomniac Games, to Sony, we have to hold them accountable. And, you know, question, how did they even arrive at this story? How is this story, was it developed internally by Insomniac? Was it, you know, placed on a Insomniac's desk by a Sony exec that came down and be like, here, this is what the story must contain. It must contain pandemics. It must contain a brand new virus. It must contain, you know, masks and gloves. It must contain a police state, police abducting citizens unlawfully. No, it must contain 5G towers. Gotta set the 5G towers. Like, where did the story for this come from and who signed off on it is what I want to know. Because I highly doubt that it was developed internally. Or at least that portion of the story was not. You know, it just doesn't... There's too many similarities. Way too many similarities. It's crazy, guys. It's scary to think that we're living in a world where things are not what they seem. You know, what you're being told may not be the truth and may not be in your best interest. So, you know, I'm not saying the pandemic right now is not real. The virus is definitely real. I'm not saying the virus is, I'm just saying it was released. There was a plan behind this release, and it's in the game. It's literally in the game. So, it's messed up, guys. We gotta take a stand and show our, you know, show our true colors that we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna, you know, stay silent on these subjects. Like, it's insane. And not even just this, like, even before this pandemic, like, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a series on Netflix called Explained. And one of the topics is called Pandemics Explained. You know, one of the episodes is on pandemics. And it released in November 2019. So literally 1 year ago, it came out and had Bill Gates talking about the need for vaccines and the need to be, you know, proactive in our fight against the biggest threat to humanity. No, the biggest threat to humanity are these fuckers who create the virus in the first place and then release it on the population, and then come in later and be like, oh, we're gonna come in with a solution. No, that's what they do. That's what they've been doing. You know, like 9/11, this, pretty much everything, every major incident that you see in the news, it's all planned, 100%. And it's to take away our freedoms slowly. So what they're going to start doing, like after 9/11, they introduced the Patriot Act. Stripped away your freedoms. Now, because of the pandemic, they're going to take it even more. They want you to be monitored. They want to monitor who you're with, where you are. You know, like it's ridiculous. They're going to track you on your phone, like you can't see your friends or whatever. Like, it's just crazy where we're going to in the name of security. This is what they do. They create a problem and they come in and fix it by removing our liberties. You know, people are gonna think I'm crazy. Like, what is this guy talking about? This guy should be wearing a tinfoil hat or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what you think. Like, I'm speaking my truth. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, sugarcoat anything anymore. Like, fuck them. You know, fuck the system. Straight up. Like, we have to take a stand, and it starts like now. Like, when this mandatory vaccine is made, that's when shit's gonna hit the fan for real. That's when there is a cure, shit's gonna hit the fan. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things are gonna play out. Like, we're living in a messed up time right now, guys. You know, they've lied to us about everything. Trust me, they've lied to us about everything. About 9/11, I went back. They lied to us about, you know, JFK assassination. They lied to us about MLK assassination. They lied to us about how World War II started. They lied to us about, you know, everything. It's all to get policy in place and to remove freedom. Like, that's what it is. It's crazy that we're living in a world like this. Like, we're actually living in a fucking movie right now. We're living in like a book, like 1984, but man, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's scary, guys. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. You know, call me crazy if you will, whatever. But yeah, guys, just be aware. Like, I'm not saying to take anything, you know, don't hold anything I say as truth. You know, do your own research and come to your own conclusions. And I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to make you think for yourself. So, at the end of the day, believe what you will, but no, I'm speaking my truth. So, thank you guys for tuning into the video. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.